Artists want their music heard by the right people that will really escalate them to stardom, but I understand that this is more beautiful than the process actually is. Problem is, plans will more than likely get you to crash and burn more than you think they will, which is why you keep restarting from home plate all the time. And you're like, oh my God, why is this not working? It's probably because you're planning. So in order to not feel that way, we got to turn your losing plan into a winning strategy. So let me break this down. My name is Casey Graham, and this is the Music Money Makeover Show. Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing we have to address is what actually is a music marketing plan. A plan is a list of things that you're going to do. To be more frank, it is a list of consumer markets you plan to enter into when you start promoting your music. Plans are random lists, notes, and agendas that are organized into an even consensus that all parties agree to, so that a strategy can be implemented here. That's why I said in the intro, a lot of times you all have a plan. Man, we about to go on Spotify and I'm trying to get to 1 million. I'm trying to get to 1 million streams. All right, let's go do it. That was a plan, and you just enacted everything on a plan. Chances are you gonna make it to that 1 million streams? Probably not, okay? Because we gotta dig a little bit deeper here. We gotta think a little bit more than the surface. Let's keep going. Why is a music marketing plan necessary? Well, a plan is necessary because you need to make sure you address all areas of concern and whittle those areas down to the top 3 or 4 that must be addressed in one single year, okay? Without addressing all things that need to be addressed, you cannot build a solid strategy that will be executed to its fullest extent due to the fact that you may be working in an area of concern that is not of significant importance. I see you all do this all the time. You got all of these lofty goals or lofty ideas and plans. They can be lofty. Let them be lofty. But which ones are necessary? Let's come back to earth here. As a creative, we tend to think and we go all out in the clouds and we're sitting on cloud 9. And for those of you all who get high, you're way up there, right? But we got to come back down. What do we need to accomplish right now that's going to get us to the lofty goal that we're dreaming about later on down the line? Whittle them down to 3 or 4, okay? 3 or 4. Let's keep going. Let's talk about strategy. What is a music marketing strategy? A strategy is all about competitive edge and action. How do you want to outshine every artist in the consumer pools, or the listener markets rather, that you decided to enter into in order to stand out or completely take it over? Strategy is all about how and then where you will accomplish your planned goals. For some of you all, it's not Spotify anymore. Some of the artists out here really just strictly focus on direct to consumer. Okay, well, how are you going to enter this new market, this new emerging market? Because a lot of consumers are not early adopters. They're not. They're slow adopters. They need to see it over and over again. So how do you plan to enter the direct to consumer market? Are you going to have a sales funnel set up? Are you going to use something like ManyChat? What are you going to do to get the people over to your platform to purchase? Is it going to be your platform? Is it going to be Bandcamp? Is it going to be Even? Is it going to be grouped? Is it going to be, all these other things? Is it going to be formless? Is it going to be over here? Is it going to be over there? When they get over there, how are you going to sell it to them? How and where? Those are our first 2 points of the strategy. Let's dig in a little bit more. Why is music marketing strategy necessary? A strategy is important to execute what our plan is. Many artists only plan out what they want and strategize on the fly. This ain't the recipe that you want right here, okay? Though nothing is guaranteed in this business, strategy can help you control and focus your efforts. Here's where we're going to execute it and how we're going to execute it. Here's who we need to execute it and what tools we need to execute with to meet our goals. Also, when do we need to have this finished by in order to complete the plan? And the biggest reason is, why do we need to execute this in the first place? And is the juice worth the squeeze? The only reason why I put that question there at the end, is the juice worth the squeeze, is because I wanted to ask you all of those other prior questions first, so that if you wrote it down, you could see it and you'd say, nah, this ain't it. This ain't the one. Or, oh yeah, because once you get to the end of answering all those questions, you'll say, that's it. This the one. Let's go do it. You'll feel more confident with it. Let's keep going here. How is a music marketing plan executed? So let's say we want to take over Americana music listeners on Spotify. We take a look at how they consume the music, where they consume it best, how do they find their way to the streaming platform, and utilize ways to deter every listener to listen to our song on that specific platform more than others. Now that's how we execute it. Let's just kind of go right into the guts of this whole thing. So our subject right here, when it comes to the guts of the strategy, our subject is the Americana listeners. All right, these are the people. The objective is to get Spotify streams. That's our whole target. But now we got to introduce what's the game point. Oh, well, we want 10 million streams. You see how we now shape this up? You see how this changed things around? Listeners, we want the streams, but we want 10 million. That gives us the goal. We have the people we're targeting, and we have the platform we're doing it on. Let's go deeper. Who is the opponent? The attention of past and present Americana listeners. That's the opponent. You see what I'm saying? That's the opponent. Like the attention, not the past and present listeners. Those are our subjects. Listeners are still our subjects. The attention is the opponent because we got to lasso that attention and bring it over to us. Who do we need to beat? The opponent, right? To beat the attention or beat them over to us. We need some type of people. I don't know. We might need some staff. We might need some industry insiders or some insider secrets. I don't know, whatever it is you need, you might need it, all right? How do we get the listener to listen on Spotify? And that's the question. How do we get the listener to listen on Spotify? Where they come from and how we getting them there from where they came from. Where do we get them to listen? Is it gonna be on a mobile phone? Is it gonna be on their desktop computers at work? Are we gonna target people who are busy and listening from Alexa or telling Alexa what to do? Are we going to target people who listen on the way home, like in the car? Maybe it's not, maybe it's like you're more targeting Pandora for that or this, a Spotify playlisting for that. Also, what type of song will they gravitate to the most? Based on current trends in Americana, is it going to be up-tempo, mid-tempo, or slow? Okay, and I'm going to get on what's called an underserved market in a minute. Also, and last piece, what tools and software will we need to make this happen? Which is something that kind of goes, people kind of, they don't think about the tools and the software they're going to need to manage this operation or see this strategy and plan through. So I need you to think about that. All right, so let's go a little bit further. This is a bonus because if we're talking about niching down or getting directly into the segment we're trying to target, this is where things go awry. And as an artist, finding the niche segment of a market is based on your genre and age group. That's the top of it, right? But your niche segment is often underserved based on a point of view concerning the topics based on age. Why? Because people tend to go broad to reach a mass consumer pool. But focused POV causes a quick rise amongst an age demographic, meaning all it means is just be yourself, right? Don't do something that's kind of out of where you are. Because in many cases, if you're trying to target where the younger listeners are, just because the listener is younger doesn't mean that they're a new listener and they can't take on new music. So this is an age thing or ageism, if you want to say, right? However, the niche can be overserved due to saturation based on age by overused topics and overused production, okay? I'm gonna jump out of Americana and we're gonna go to rap music. So something that's overused is highly sexualized women in rap music. So the weight is down here on the scale. But the underserved market is the people like Lil Sims, Rhapsody, Tierra Whack, right? They're over here. And there are a lot of people who wanna get music from the underserved market, but the few people who are over here can only supply it so much, which means that it's underutilized and underserved. While everybody's trying to get on the gravy train that's already speeding fast, it's going to be harder to get on the speeding fast train and make a difference, more so than if you got in over here and poured some quality on your music, and now the scale gets balanced out. But you get to take advantage of a niched down segment of people who want more quality music versus more highly sexualized music. You get what I'm saying? So you get a chance to make your coin because it's underserved. Right? That's really what I'm saying here. Let's keep going. Your question may be, what's the point of all this? To push the culture forward and to get money to live. That's the point, right? That's your point, not my point. Also to continuously push the culture forward and protect the art that you've created. Can you hook multiple plans together? You can, however, it does take time to really understand how plans and strategy work in order to get back, or in order to go back to back with them. The moment you understand how this works, it's the moment you become a legend. I'm telling you, if you understand how to really build the strategy the right way and then you link them, oh my God. Because now your bandwagon that everybody's hopping on to, it never stops rolling because you keep linking plan to strategy, plan to strategy, plan to strategy, execute, and you're now 3 to 4 steps ahead on what you're going to do, right? Oh my God, you're a legend. Hello, future legend. Check it out. Where do you start first? Subject, objective, and game point. This will lead you to a why before you get too deep, and you can determine if this is necessary to go down this route or play a game this deep or long. Subject, objective, game point. That game point will allow you to say, nah, I don't think I really want to do this one right here. I don't know, man, that might be too much. Let's dial it back or let's table it. And then ultimately, like I said earlier, once you get to the, is the juice worth the squeeze, then you'll say, nah, let's really table it, or yeah, let's really go for it. Now, all this planning is great, but it's not great if you don't have a foundation to execute this plan upon. So if you're an artist, a producer, singer, songwriter, or new music business exec who needs to build your record or publishing company in 60 days or less without searching all over the internet for all the misinformation and through the red tape, I got you covered, because we're going to get this done excellently with the excellent LLC foundation to build upon, to survive and thrive upon, and give us some base level anonymity. We'll be able to learn how to play the game via contract so you don't get lost in the sauce out here. And on top of that, you'll be able to get your international and domestic record and publishing royalties without the middleman taking 15%. All the stuff you see in the bottom right-hand corner is included, plus much, much more. Now, if this is your first time watching the channel, please make sure to grab the free stuff below. 10 major ways to increase your record label's profits. A free split sheet is included with that download. But check this out. Strategy wins. If you play with an angle to win, you're more than likely going to decrease the odds of losing, wasting money or time, and time. However, plans lose. If you play the game based on a plan, we're going to win here or by this, and you just go try to achieve it, it will more than likely never happen. You'll have a higher loss rate than you could even imagine. And on top of that, the regrets set in super heavy, especially when you don't achieve it. So if you were wondering how to market your music better, you now have a better idea on how to do it. Music Money Makers, if you make music, you should always make money. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com, jump into the 60-day record label course, download the free stuff beneath this video, book a call on musicmoneymakeover.com, smash that like button beneath this video, and guess what? I'll see you next time. Peace.